Hey guys, it's nymcfly and I just got back from the spa. My hair is dripping. I thought this would be the perfect time to do a little takedown and chat. There's some things you guys have asked me that I wanted to address, and I've also had a few things on my mind that I kind of just wanted to talk about and give you guys a little piece of me. I thought I looked cute, so I wanted to do my intro, but I need to put on some chill clothes. So I'm gonna go change, put those on. Let's not waste any more time. Let's get into this video. I got a trash bag. My hair is short, so I can literally cut most of these braids off at this point. I don't have to be particular. I'm gonna just start from the back and work my way up because I plan on getting all of these out tonight. So I'm actually a little hot in this sweater. Gotta get comfortable. Just give me a second. Alright, I can work with this. I can handle this. Let me get a mirror though. Alright, if you see me looking over to the left, it's because I put a mirror where I can see it. Okay. Are you guys ready? Because I'm ready. Let's get into this. I cut a lot higher. I'm like literally have no hair, so I can cut a lot higher. First set, let's go. I'm excited to take down my hair. I've been trying to think of new creative ways to like talk to you guys because I sometimes have a tendency to forget that my subscribers don't just subscribe to me for like my tutorials and things, you know? I assume that my subscribers come from my Instagram, and because of that, I end up using my YouTube strictly for tutorials because I feel like I give so much to my Instagram. I forget that you guys actually want to see me as a person, you know? And that you guys don't get the chance to do that. I don't know if I've ever shared this with you guys, but when I started my YouTube channel, I was working at Forever 21 in like Fox Hills, Westfield Mall in California, and literally I had my afro at the time, and people would come in all the time, like either with their kids or with their own hair, and be like, I love your hair, what products do you use? Or, oh my gosh, I want her hair to look like this, I just can't get her hair to look like that. Or, you know, like just little things, excuses on reasons why they couldn't get their hair or their child's hair to be maintained throughout the week and things like that. So I was literally writing products on the back of Forever 21 receipts, like, okay, here's your receipt, and then on the back I wrote the products you need. So you're gonna need a leave-in, a cream, like literally giving them ideas and things that products they didn't know, and just things that they didn't think about doing to maintain their child's hair. So, and it just made me feel really good because I felt like, okay, that's one more person who's willing to take styling their hair into their own hands. Like, my biggest thing is I don't feel like everyone needs to be natural. I just believe that you should know how to do your hair on the most basic level. You know what I'm saying? You'll want to know those things about your body, and I feel the same way with hair. Anyway, I hadn't realized that I actually have built a platform here, and that there are actually people here who don't know me outside of YouTube and actually would like to see more from me. So I'm working on it, guys. This is a part of that. See, look, look at that. That was personal right there. So I'm hoping to do more of this and find creative ways to do this. So let me know, you know, if you got something else you want to see me do while I chat, holla at me. You know something that I think is really cool? Speaking of people who follow me on YouTube and have found me other ways than my Instagram, not a lot, but I've had a few people find me through some of the videos I've been in. Like, I've been in Toby Lou's video, and I've actually had a few comments about people who like, hey, I seen you in Toby Lou's video, I found you from there, which I think is really dope because Toby's sick. he's just a really dope character. Like, he's honestly who his image portrays him to be. Like, he's just a really like high energy, cool, super him like person, and I think that's so dope. And I've been asked how do people find me for these videos, and literally everything has been like through a DM or like a friend of a friend. So I think Toby seen one of my photo shoots, I guess on Instagram or something, and he hit up my photographer friend and was like, hey, this girl you shot, I'd love to have her in my video this week, like, can you reach out to her, like, how can I get to her type. And she hit me up, then I hit him up, and then it just happened, and it was really cool, and he's blowing up. So I think it's really sick that I had that opportunity to work with him in that moment. I think that's so dope. Same thing with 2 Chainz, except 2 Chainz is like a huge artist, so they did it comes through, I guess, like an agency or management, and they DM me and was like, hey, we're shooting a major artist video. They don't tell you whose video it is sometimes right off the beginning, and I got it, so that was cool. I actually got to, well, you see in the video, we were actually together for a few scenes, so that was cool. 2 Chainz reminds me of like an uncle or like a dad, like a cool cousin. That's the kind of vibe he gives me, so to actually see him in person was kind of cool. He's tall, he has a presence for sure. Yeah, it was an overall good experience, except what's crazy is that shoot looks like it was shot during the daytime, and we literally didn't start shooting until like 7 o'clock, and it was like from 7 to 4 a.m. or something crazy. So it was literally a all night shoot. I'm so surprised I was not like pooped during that. I literally sat and knit, watched YouTube videos. I can knit, y'all. I don't know if y'all know that, but I like to knit. It's one of those things I do, like if I'm in the airport, or if I gotta wait at the doctor's office, or if I'm on set and I don't want to just be scrolling on Instagram for 8 hours, then I you know, bring something that I can do with my hands while I watch YouTube or listen to music, so I don't feel like I need to scroll or do something active. That's my little thing I like to do. I enjoy it. I don't do it when I'm home though. Like, I'm never just in the house like, let me get my knit on. Like, it's always something to do. But when I'm places like the airport and stuff like that where there's nothing to do, that's what I like to do. This is actually taking a lot less time than I expected. I kind of have a lot of hair at this point, huh? This is kind of cool. You guys seen it when I cut it. This is like the length of when I first cut the ponytails. Like, I like this length. This is cute. Oh, OMG. How did I forget to talk about Diggy Simmons? I know so many of y'all who have DM'd me about the Diggy video. Y'all know we all love Diggy. We've loved Diggy since Ron's house. And it was so dope to work with him. It was really cool because Diggy is like my age. So seeing him, and we shot like at a house. So it was like a real cozy vibe, you know. It was equivalent to going in a house and meeting one of your cousin's boyfriends, you know, like just something like, oh, hey, oh. And he was like, my name's Diggy, and I'm like, of course we're here for you, I already know your name. But you know, that was cool. He's cool, nothing crazy happened. No, I don't have no crazy story or anything like that for any video I've been in, but every single one of them was a great experience, like every single one. Alright, we got a lot out. I'm saying we, like y'all helping me. I got a lot out. It's crazy to think at one point I really thought I was gonna like work in a hair salon and like do hair. I mean, I got my cosmetology license and technically I did work in a hair salon for 4 years, but you know, it's different than actually being an adult working in a salon and having like a clientele. I think that's super intense, and it's crazy the way things work out is all I can really say. Like, I thought me going to cosmetology school was gonna lead me into doing hair, and instead it led me into doing my own hair and teaching others, which I think is even doper if you ask me. You wanna know something? I know this is like, I was unsure if I was gonna talk about this, but it just hit my spirit, so I guess I'll talk about it. I think I might have posted a story on it. I don't know, it happened earlier today and I recorded it for Instagram, but I was unsure if I was ready to share it or not. But it just hit my spirit to share it in this video, so I might go ahead and put it on Instagram after I finish recording as well, so you'll kind of get a clip of it on Instagram and then a deeper story here. If you do follow me on Instagram, you seen last night, by the time this video is up, you're not even gonna know what night it was. But last night I was up at like 3 o'clock. 3 a.m. I went to sleep and then I woke up and I could not get back to sleep. And I went to the bathroom, I got up to use the bathroom, and when I passed by the mirror, I looked at myself, and when I seen myself, I was like, yo, you're so beautiful. Hey girl. Like, that was my first thought when I walked past the mirror last night. Well, / this morning. Like, at 3 a.m., my hair's a mess, my edges are crazy. I'm passing, you know, you just pass by to go to the bathroom, and I literally stopped and looked at myself like, hey, beautiful. I love you, you know? And, whew, my hair feels so good. It literally brought joy to me to feel that, and it brought a train of other thoughts. Like, is it a train or a chain? I don't know. I've been unsure if I wanted to share it in a YouTube video, but I told my friend about it and she insists that it needed to be something that I speak about and actually share my experience on, and I know she's right. I was just unsure if I was ready, and it just hit my spirit as I'm sitting here. Yeah, I'll share an experience I had as a kid that kind of, it really, this isn't random, but it just re-emerged this morning. So it makes it a little random for YouTube, but this morning it happened, and I feel like I gotta speak about my experience to kind of get it off of my chest. Alright, final section. So, about this story I'm trying to tell you guys. Alright, so let me set up, I don't know where to start, I don't know how I'm gonna go about explaining this story. It's kind of emotional, but just stick with me. Here we go. So I woke up this morning at like 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, and I could not go to sleep. So I got up, stayed up for a while, went to the bathroom, and you know when you pass yourself in the mirror when I went by the bathroom? I literally had a flashback to when I was a kid and looking at myself in the water park bathroom, which fast forward into me looking at myself when I was in the 10th grade in the movie theater bathroom, which just fast forwarded back into my time now. And let me try to put the dots together for you. So when I was in 6th or 7th grade, those summers I used to go to Texas to visit my grandmother. My dad's mom, she lives in Texas. So as a kid, we used to go to water parks all the time, amusement parks. We used to just be outside. You know, it was Texas, it's hot, it's summer. We were just having fun. Literally, my grandma moved into a new development, so there was a water park at the end of the court. And it was only like $6 to enter or something like that. So we were literally going like every day. The lazy river went around the park, and the park was kind of in the middle of the lazy river, and then all the seats were on the outside of the lazy river. And I can remember seeing this real cute chocolate boy. So as we get around the lazy river, I'm like, we pass his chairs and then we coming up on the bathrooms. I'm like, let me go to the bathroom. Mind you, he might have been like in the night. He looked older. He was definitely more of a teenager than I was at 10 or however old you are in 6th grade. So I get out the lazy river, I go to the bathroom, and you know when you're in the sun and then you go to the bathroom at a water park or something like that, it's just so dark in there. It's usually like little slits for natural light. So I can remember walking into the bathroom, and it's like that first mirror without a sink or anything, and I'm staring at myself like waiting for my eyes to adjust, and I can remember being so dark. Like I can picture my skin tone. I literally had my hair in these like long, the same braided style I had in a few moments ago, and I can just remember staring at myself and like trying to wait for my eyes to focus and looking at how chocolate I was and just crying, like tears, crying. So much so that my cousin Diamond was like, what is wrong? Like, come on, let's go home. Like, let's just get our stuff. Let's go home. Like, what's wrong? And still to this day, I feel like she does not know why I was crying that day, but I was crying because I was so chocolate and I felt so ugly. And it's crazy. And what was crazy is that last night when I passed the mirror going to the bathroom, I seen my 10-year-old self, and I looked at myself and I literally said to myself as I was passing the mirror, like, wow, you're so beautiful. And it was just, that moment took me back to this moment that I'm telling you guys about. And I feel like, yo, I was so milky and so beautiful. Like, there was no reason for me to be crying like that. I cried. Like, that was my reaction to seeing my own face. Like, that's something so powerful that I'll just never forget. And which also happened in, I think 10th, it was like 9th or 10th grade. I had 2 really close friends, light skin, curly hair, very pretty girls. And we used to do, you know, like when you're not old enough to like do real stuff, so you go to the mall and you be at the mall for hours, like you go to the movies, stuff like that. So this was one of those times where in Baltimore we have like Owens Mills movie theater, and back in the day, like when I was in 9th and 10th grade, it used to be popping, especially during the summer. Like if a new movie came out or the carnival was out or something crazy, like if that first hot weekend of the summer, like we was out. It was one of those days, and my 2 homegirls had like 2 guys meeting up with them, and then one of the guys was supposed to meet up with me. And I can remember us being there having fun, like had a great night, had a blast, and the guy who was supposed to show up for me didn't show up, but the guys showed up for my 2 friends. And I can just remember crying, like going home, and we stayed the night at my friend's house, and I can just remember going home and crying and just trying to explain to them how I felt. I wasn't telling them why, but I'm sure they just thought like, oh, she's upset because guys don't talk to her. But it was just so much deeper than that, because to me, I felt like he didn't come because I was dark skinned. Like it had a lot to, like, small details like that had a lot to do with like my self-esteem and how I felt about myself and the type of things I was seeing. I hated myself so much, and I was so young. Like there's no reason I should have had those pre-established feelings about who I was based on what I looked like. And it's just so crazy, because to me it really points out like how much representation matters. It's one of the first times I ever had an experience with seeing someone who I felt looked like me, someone who I felt I could see myself growing up to be when I got older, was Enjoyyy. Like, I know that sounds crazy, but Enjoyyy was right around, like, she was who I was listening to around that age, like my most, like 13, 10, like those ages. And I can remember I seen her at some festival in Baltimore. There's always something during the summers. And she got off stage, she came through the back, you know, the few stairs off the stage, and we were blocking her trailer. Me and my uncle, we were the last, my mom's brother this time. We were like the last people in the crowd, and she came up, she literally didn't take no autographs, no photos, nothing. She was going straight to her trailer, and she stopped at me right before she went to her trailer. She hugged me, she introduced herself, she took a picture with me, and she told me I was beautiful. And when I tell y'all, that is something that will be with me for the rest of my life. Like, I can't wait for the day that I get to meet her and express to her what she did for me in that moment. Like less than 5 minutes, I'd seen myself growing up. I could see myself being 25. I could see, you know, like in her, I seen me, and that's something I've never had before then. Like, representation needs to happen. I can remember being in school, and one of the darkest girls in my middle school told me not to wear my toes out. I love doing multiple colors, so I had like a different color on every toe, but it was matching on the same feet. And she told me, don't wear my toes out because they look like M&Ms. I need to keep my toes away. Yo, for years, I would not put colors on my toes. For years, like that's so small. Like, how small is that? That's such a small thing that you could say to someone. And for years, I would not put polish on my toes. Like, it's so important, especially young girls, young black girls. It's just so important, the things you say around them, the things you say to them. It's so sad to think about. I was honestly crying this morning thinking about it, because to look at myself last night / this morning and to say, hey, you're beautiful. I love you, girl. Look at you. 22. You're living exactly how you seen yourself when you were 10, when you were 12 and 13. Like, that moment for me last night, and I couldn't go to sleep. Like, I could not go back to sleep. And I feel like that moment was like, it was a shift. Like, I feel like something in that moment shifted. I altered something when I looked at myself in that mirror and seeing myself standing in that bathroom mirror in Texas, and seeing myself standing in that movie theater in Baltimore, and seeing myself standing in the hallway in Windsor Mill Middle School. Like, to pass through those times and see myself all come together in this one moment, in that one mirror, in passing, not even a stop and look, but in passing at 3 a.m. was something so small, but something so important. And I feel like something that has caused a large change in my energy shift, and just in hours, just in that moment, in that split second, that split moment, that my first thought when I see myself was, hey, you're beautiful. I changed something, and I felt it change. I physically could not rest my body because I could feel the change. You know, all that to say, it's super important to me to continue to be myself and dynamic, and to be a representation, and to be someone that people, or to be someone that 10-year-old, 13-year-old, 15-year-old me can look up to and continue to see myself in, and continue to allow other women and young girls to see themselves in a different light, in a different variety, and in different people. I just want to continue being a representation of who I needed when I was 10 and crying at the park. I want to continue having messages for that me that was crying in the movies. Like, I want to continue supporting that girl and doing things in her light, and doing things that show her, hey girl, listen, beauty's not about what you look like. You didn't grow into being beautiful. You never stopped being beautiful. You didn't go through an ugly phase. You were always beautiful because you've always been you. Yo, you have, like, as a kid, you needed to, like, I needed to see it. As a kid, I needed to see it. This also proves to me, though, I didn't need to see it to become it, because I was already that person. So I just want to remain being an authentic person that people can acknowledge and see themselves in. I just want to continue supporting the people who support me and just continue being my most authentic self. Like, I don't know any other way to express it. And I don't know, this story was kind of all over the place. Like I said, I recorded a little bit of it for earlier and I was unsure if I was ready to share it. So this is like my second time kind of talking it through to myself. And it's just emotional every time because nobody at that young of an age should feel that much hate for themselves. Like, you're not even a person yet. You're still developing your taste and your likes. There's no reason why you should hate yourself when every day is a new chance to like start again. This is an issue and I know I'm not the only one, and sometimes when I talk it out I feel like I sound crazy. Like, you really let this girl make you feel like you couldn't wear your toes out? Like, bitch, you could never. Like, yeah, alright. I should not have felt that way, and I want to do everything in my power to make sure as many people as I reach, if any one of those people feel that way, that I can be someone they can look at and help them rewire their thinking. Do you understand what I'm saying? That's why I feel so strongly about learning your hair and learning these things about you, because on the basic human level, you should know how to take care of yourself and you should know your hair and be comfortable with every part of yourself. Like, if you have the bare minimum to take care of yourself. And I feel like the time it takes to braid your hair on a Sunday, the time it takes to be in the bathroom mirror with your mother on a Sunday while she braids your hair, like, those are times to be reassuring your kids. The way we say things, the things we say are just so important and just so crucial. Life happens and we all have experiences that make us who we are and that help us view different perspectives. But if you are, I know for a fact that if you can stand strong in who you are, like, I always call it leaning in or lean out of it, because in my life I've had times where I've leaned into who I was and leaned out of it. And at this point I'm 10 toes down in who I am. I'm fully stepped into it. Now I'm constantly growing and expanding and reaching different directions, but I'm 10 toes down in who I am, and no matter what anyone says about that, it can't divert how I feel about myself. And I feel like if instilling those morals and these affirmations into kids at a younger age and at an age where they can understand, I feel like, yo, people can stand so much stronger in who they are and not sway on so many different issues, you know? Perfect timing. Anyway, so yeah, all that to say, I love you guys, and I'm gonna always do my best to be me, my most authentic self, and share these parts and these pieces of a kid the way I do. Let me know down below, like, what was you guys' relationship with your skin tone growing up? And what was your relationship with your hair? Did you take time with your parents to do your hair? Is that something you can remember? Guys, let me know if you guys have any ideas of how else you want me to talk to you, any hair topics or anything like that. I'm about to wash my hair. I love you guys, and I'll catch you in my next video.